June 6th, 1944, D-Day. A turning point in World War II. Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, fighting against a fierce German defence. The air was thick with gunfire and the roar of machinery. But amidst the chaos, the sound of bagpipes cut through. Piper Bill Millin, under the personal orders of Lord Lovat, played his bagpipes as his comrades charged Sword Beach. His notes defying the danger all around him, his courage became legendary. But the echoes of D-Day extend far beyond the battle itself. They live on through the stories of those who fought and the legacy they passed down. Today, we're joined by John Millin, son of Piper Bill Millin. John will share his father's incredible story. John, thank you very much for joining us today. For the benefit of our audience, could you just introduce yourself?
Well, my name is John Millin. I'm the son of Piper Bill Millin, the Mad Piper of Normandy. My father, under instructions from Lord Lovat, played his bagpipes on the beach on the 6th of June 1944, D-Day, as the biggest battle ever took place.
What was it like growing up with Piper Bill Millin as your father? How did his experiences shape your childhood?
Well, I was actually born to the sound of the pipes. I was born in Lennox Castle, just outside Glasgow. And as my mother was delivering me, Dad was playing the pipes outside in the grounds, playing Heel and Laddie. So right from the word go, the sound of the pipes has always meant something to me.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, you must have some personal anecdotes and stories about your father and about his D-Day experiences. Could you fill us in on any of those?
Dad was always pleased that he created so much publicity with the pipes. But at the same time, he did suffer for a long time with PTSD after the war. So it was a mixture of wanting to do it and not wanting to do it. But his main focus in his post-war years was the acts of remembrance. And he knew the sound of the pipes. Everyone remembered the sound of the pipes, whether they liked the pipes or not. They would remember them. So he thought, well, I'll keep playing because it'll remind people of what men and women did during the Normandy campaign.
And can you share any personal anecdotes or stories your father told about his experiences during D-Day and World War II?
When I was young, all he'd mentioned was the pipes. I played the pipes on D-Day, I marched up and down. But as I got older, he'd give a little bit more information. When he was stood on top of the landing craft waiting to go down the ramp, you could see Lovat in the water, and the water just come up to Lovat's knees. So he thought, well, it's not very deep, that's okay. So rather than walk down the ramp, he jumped over the side, holding his pipes up in the air like that, with his kilt, and hit the water. Now he thought it was only going to be knee deep, but Lovat was 6'4" and Dad was 5'8". So the water came up a lot higher, and the kilt came out, and he said, I looked like a ballerina, because the kilt had just floated up. And as he got down, the water got down to his knees, he struck up the pipes and played Heel and Laddie up to Lovat. He was playing the pipes along the beach, and he turned round, and there was nobody there. All the commandos from the 1st Special Service Brigade had left the beach, were meeting at the rendezvous point. So Dad had to run up the beach, because his kilt was his father's kilt. It was soaked through. So he took the kilt off. And of course, Dad, being one of the Scots and a true commando, wore nothing under the kilt. And he rolled the kilt up, gave it a bit of a squeeze, get rid of the water, put it in his bag and took his army trews out. So for a few moments on that day of that battle, my father was bent over, putting on army trews with his bare bum facing the enemy. So if that didn't win us a war, now I don't know what did.
I love that. How did your father cope with his fame and recognition that came from his role as the D-Day Piper?
Well, he didn't mind so much about that because it stirred people's memories, made sure people didn't forget about it. That was his main aim. He was really adamant that people remembered Normandy, what people went through, because he saw so much of death on the beach that morning. Because the order of the day was, once you step on the beach, get off the beach, stay on the beach, you'll die on the beach. That was the order given to them before they went ashore. But Lovett had Dad marching up and down the beach. And he was marching up and down for 20 minutes. And in that time, he saw men that he just sailed over the channel with, killed in front of him. And he was stepping over bodies as he went along. And the lads, some young lads, were coming ashore from the landing craft with fear in their face, naturally, because the air was full of ammunition and shell bursts. But some of them actually gave him a thumbs up and started laughing. So that encouraged them to get off the beach.
It is an incredible thing to see, a man in a kilt walking up and down playing the bagpipes. And I heard the Germans actually didn't shoot him because they thought he was mad. Is that right? Is that
once they'd taken Pegasus Bridge and the Horsa Bridge, some German snipers had been captured, and Dad asked them through an interpreter, "Why didn't you shoot at me? I didn't have a weapon, all I had was my bagpipes." And they laughed. And they were, "Dummkopf, du willst spielen, madman." The Germans thought it was bad luck to kill a novice madman on the battlefield. And there was one sniper Dad met many years ago in Belgium when they were doing the documentary. And this man said, "I had you in my sights, but I wasn't going to kill you. Otherwise it'd been bad luck for me."
So, which were the specific tunes your father played on D-Day?
He played Healing Laddie once he was in the water, and once he'd located Lovett on the beach, and it was Healing Laddie up to the shore. And when he got to Lovett, Lovett was talking to the beach master, and they both just stood there. Well, the three of them, once Dad got there, everyone else was crouched down and running for their lives. And Lovett and the beach master were just stood there chatting away. And as Dad approached him, Lovett turned and saw him and smiled and said, "Oh, very good, Piper. Oh, Pipe, would you mind just walking up and down the beach and playing a tune or two for the lads coming ashore?" And Dad looked at him and said, "Oh, God." Because Lovett's nickname at that time was the Mad Bastard, because he took so much, I won't say risk, but that was his name. And Dad was thinking it. He didn't say it. He thought it. But he turned and walked along, and he struck up Road to the Isles, and then he played up and down the beach. Yeah.
So what do you think was the most challenging aspect of your father's service during World War II?
Well, the D-Day landings certainly made their mark on him. He lost an awful lot of friends. But the two parts of his war career, if you like, was the Normandy landings and the liberation of Belsen on the 15th of April, 1945. My father and some other members of the Achnacarry Pipe Band played the pipes through the gates of Belsen when the Germans surrendered. And the sights he saw there stayed with him for the rest of his life. And the Army Photographic Unit descended on the place and were given all the soldiers cameras. And Dad was in charge of a burial party, him and another lad. And they took some pictures, but Dad forgot to hand one of the reels in. And he brought it home and had it developed over here. Now the pictures, the 15 photos, he sealed into the back of his scrap album. And I didn't get to see it until I was 21. And they said, if people ask, did the Holocaust happen? Show them these photographs. And we've donated those photographs to the National Holocaust Museum in Laxton.
In what ways do you believe your father's actions on D-Day have influenced future generations or impacted the perception of wartime heroism?
I say he was known as the Mad Piper. Everyone knows him by that name. Whenever the subject of D-Day comes up on the TV or in the press or something, they always refer to the Mad Piper. Dad's always there, even if it's not by name. There's stories told about the Mad Piper. Even in France, you know, on the day, on the 6th of June, there was a man, a Frenchman, resistance, and his son, who was only 14. They were on the beach. Once they knew the landing had started, they'd gone down to cut the petrol lines that the Germans had laid across the beach. The German intention was to set it all ablaze and the whole beach go up in flames. And the young lad got separated from his dad. But as my dad walked past playing the pipes, they reported that for a few seconds the Germans in that area stopped firing, which gave this wee boy, the French resistance lad, time to get up and run back to his father.
So were there any particular values or lessons your father imparted to you based on his experiences in the military?
There's so many people thought they knew the history of Normandy, and they'd often approach Dad and say, well, this happened, or no, you couldn't have been there at that time, I'm a historian. And Dad's answer to them went, were you there? And if the answer was no, then it was, go away, but not so politely. He says, always find out the facts. Don't rely on, I don't need to cry, historians, don't rely on one book or two books. Find out, and find out from the people who were there at the time. They'll give you the truth.
And what do you think your father would want people to remember most about his contributions to history?
Recognition and remembrance of the people who died. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands died in the Normandy campaign as a whole. The world needs to remember that. If it wasn't for those people giving their lives, we wouldn't have the life that we have today.